Kirsty to stop talking. Hello. No, it's her fault. Hi, I'm Jack Burns, and I'm the director of London Rice Co along with Kirsty, the other founder and director at the back there. Laura here is assistant, so if you want to ask her anything, she'll help you out. It's lovely to see you all here. Easter and Christmas are always our quietest events, but that means that you can get more of your questions answered, which is fantastic. So without any further sort of faffing around from me, actually maybe I might give you a few announcements first, just to remind you of a couple of things. We've got a fiction workshop coming up and a non-fiction workshop coming up, full day workshops. And there's big discounts on those for members, so they're worth checking out. People who've done them before absolutely love them. And it's with Kirsty and I. Kirsty, who has got 3 authors who have just been either nominated for awards and 2 nominated for awards and 1 winner in this last week. Yeah.
Awesome.
Amazing. What was the other thing I needed to talk about? Just to remind you of. Yes, my book. I'm getting a little nod here. My book, I've got copies of my book here if anybody would like a copy. And then the other thing is there's 1 more place left on the Writers' Retreat to Italy if anyone's interested in that. Very excited about that as well. It's coming up at the end of April. But tonight we've got Sandra with us, and I've practiced your surname a couple of times, but Sawicka of the Marjacq agency, and she's going to share with us everything that we need to know about the agency in order to pitch to them, but also she's going to talk about London Book Fair for us, so that's a fantastic mixture. So thank you, Sandra.
Do you mind if I sit down?
No, not at all.
I have a bit of a sore throat, so I'm hoping I won't dissolve into coughs kind of halfway through. So my name is Sandra. I'm from Marjacq Literary Agency. Lucky to be here, and I thought I'd start with a bit of history, not too much, on our agency. We've been founded in 1974 by Jackie Lyons and George Markstein, who are the Mar and Jacques in our city name, which no one can pronounce, including the employees of said agency. And even though we've been around for so long, most of you probably might have not heard of us. And that's one of the reasons why it might be that in the 80s, the agency briefly changed profile quite dramatically. Jackie suddenly realized in the 80s that there's a huge potential in the gaming industry, which was just sort of beginning. And she picked a few bright young things from Oxford and offered them a deal, and they became those screenwriters for games and made a lot of money, and she was the first person to do that in the world. So the agency because that part of the business was making so much money, the industry the agency moved away from books for a while. But then the model of game industry changed quite dramatically again, and that part of the business was no longer feasible. So we've become again a literary agency. And Philip Patterson joined in the early 2000s, who's still the main agent. His main interests are crime, historical novels, book club, and excuse me, as I said, my voice is going a little bit. And sort of upmarket women's fiction. And for a while he was the sole agent in the company, and then I joined in 2014 mainly as a foreign rights person who deals with book fairs. But very quickly I kind of wanted to build my own list, and that's what happened. Within the first 3 months I actually signed my first author, and now I have about 15, so my list is becoming kind of okay, but not very full. And I'll tell you a little bit more about the book fair side in a second. Later on in 2015, 2 more agents joined us, which were Georgie Booz, who's now on maternity leave, but she'll be taking care of the more commercial side of women's fiction, and Catherine Pellegrino, who's a brilliant children's and YA agent. If you're writing children's and teens books, then she's definitely worth checking out. And in September 2015, we sort of expanded again, and Imogen Pelham from Aiken Alexander joined us. And she's doing more literary fiction and sort of upmarket thriller, and also non-fiction. So this is all of us. I should probably mention that I do kind of a little bit of everything. I do literature and translation, I do women's fiction, I do sort of historical, a bit of YA and genre fiction, which is sort of science fiction, fantasy. Right. So that's us.